All right, everybody. So today what we are going to do is we are going to get started on our rocket car project. And obviously this is going to be done a little bit differently than any way that I've ever done it before. But we're going to do the best that we can, and we're going to take much smaller steps in this process, just simply because there's a lot of areas where you can get hung up. So I'm going to do my best to go really slowly, and let's focus on getting small steps done along the way, and we'll have a lot of different submissions. So rather than a really long video, I'm trying to do multiple short videos that are going to make this all worthwhile and make this all work. All right, so as we move into this, you're going to want to have the launchpad.classlink.com, and I think it's /seals for you guys to see it. You're going to click remote application, and over here it's going to bring up the remote application. All right, so we're going to do a couple things before we ever get started. Before we open Solidworks, we want to make sure that that drive file stream is showing up. All right, they disappear. Even for those of you that have it working, you know, and some of you that have had video conferences with me in Google Meet, you know that it doesn't show up sometimes. So I want to just quickly review the process of how to make that show up. If you go back to ClassLink and you go down here to My Files, now, I have not opened this yet today, so you will see that when I come over here to Manage Services, and I click that my Google Drive is connected. All right, and hopefully it is. Sometimes it is, sometimes it is not. Here's how we're going to determine whether it is actually connected. If you go over here to Remote Desktop and you click Drive File Stream, and we let this thing open, this is going to be our clue as to whether this is going to work or not. So it takes a moment for it to open up, and the screen may just be grayed or blacked out, and that's looking like exactly what it's going to be. Now, it's not supposed to do this. That being said, it does this all the time, so don't panic. There's a fix for it. If you go over here and you click All Resources and you click Drive File Stream again, it just shows up like magic. All right, so that's part one of it. The thing that we're really looking for is to make sure we have Google Drive File Stream, and we have it. So that means that everything is good to go. That means that everything that we need to save this correctly is actually going to be there. All right, so to get started into SolidWorks, back into All Resources, go ahead and click SolidWorks here, and it will take a moment to open up. As you guys who have worked on this stuff know, it's not necessarily immediate that this opens. It could be you and 100 other people on our server at school working on SolidWorks at the same time. So it does take a moment. There we go. That opened pretty quickly, so I'm pretty impressed with that. All right. I will eventually have some. Resources that I will refer to on your screen, all right, or that you can refer to on your screen. For drawing purposes, I'm going to keep this pretty simple, and I really just want you guys to pause my video and draw it kind of together. You've never seen it before, so it's perfectly normal to do it this way, and this is a pretty small step, all right? We're going to do either File, New, or we can click the New Part icon right here. So I'm going to bring that up. We're going to go to View, Hide and Show. Origins, sorry. I lost my train of thought there for a moment. So we're going to do that. And we're going to go to here and Document Properties and Units. And we want to make sure that this says IPS. For some of you, I know that when you do this, it blows the screen up and you can't see the OK button down here. I hope that's something that passes. I'm on a bit of a bigger monitor, so maybe that makes the difference here. I don't know. But we definitely need to make sure this says IPS, which it probably does. This next step is not necessarily a game over situation where if it doesn't show up, you can't proceed, but it's definitely going to be helpful to have it. So if we click here and we make this 0.123 and 0.123 and 0.123, that's awesome. And then just say okay. If okay is not showing up, you should be able to move this window around so that you can see it. I think some kids didn't think to do that, but you can. And just click OK. So we've gotten our start, right? We're ready to start drawing. So what we're going to do is, remember, referring to the 6 steps, which I will also attach to this assignment, you're going to click the Sketch tab. In this case, the shape you're going to choose is a line. And in this case, we want to draw it on the front plane. So the last one I had you guys draw on the top plane. For this one, I want to have you draw on the front plane. So roll over it until it shows orange. Go ahead and click that. Now, we are viewing this sort of skewed, right? So it's a view from the side. It's skewed. So before we draw anything, we want to go up to View Orientation, and we want to click the front view, which is going to allow us to view it dead on from the front. And to start this, I'm going to have you guys click right here on the origin, and I'm going to have you draw a line. You can go out of this box or in this box, it doesn't matter. What does matter is if you see that little yellow horizontal line icon, we want to make sure you stay horizontal there, right? If you move it up or you move it down, that disappears. So it's very, very important that we have that. So go ahead and click that. We'll click up. So we have a vertical line. We're going to have an angular line. Just draw it out here a little bit. We're going to draw another horizontal line, and we're going to stop this one where it snaps to this origin below. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to go back here and connect it. So we end up with this shape that looks like a block that you'll eventually, hopefully, have. I can't, this is, we would already have a block of wood that we could mimic it on. You guys don't have that, unfortunately, because we're doing this remotely. So it sort of is what it is. If you mess any of this stuff up, let me show you a really cool trick. If you come over here to Trim Entities, Power Trim is what's selected. If you draw this little gray line, if you can see it there, it's not doing anything, but if I draw it through something, it gets rid of it. If I draw it through something, it gets rid of it. Oops. And it zoomed it way out because I'm using a different mouse. So if I just click Zoom to Fit, brings it back. And I can literally go back in here, and I can grab my line tool and snap it to here and snap it to here. Okay, there it is. So believe it or not, we're almost done. We're going to go to Smart Dimension, and the dimension that we're going to put right here, I'm going to click it, move it down here and click it. We're going to make that 9 inches. The height over here, sorry about that, let me do that again. 9 inches. I'm using a different computer and sometimes it does weird stuff. So there we go. I'm going to click over here, and this height, we're going to make this 2 inches. Now, if this happens, don't panic. That wasn't supposed to do that, and I kind of did that on purpose, hoping it would make this mistake and I could actually record it. It did it. So we don't want it to look like that. If you come over here and you just do undo, let's leave it like this for now. Let's leave it at that number, because over here there are 2 dimensions that we have to put on here. We actually have to do the distance between here and this point right here. And we have to do the distance between this point and this point here, which would be the height. There's actually a third measurement we could do, which is the length of this segment, but we don't actually want that one. So let me go back to Smart Dimension, and as I told you, from here to here, how we can do that is all we do is we click this, and right now it's showing the length of the segment, but if we move it up here, see how that number changed? That's the one we want. So we're going to make that 4.5 inches. And then we're also going to do the height. So if we click the same thing again, notice, I'll try it again here. Sometimes when you click the middle, which I did, it doesn't like that. So a lot of times if you click off Smart Dimension and you click it again, there we go. Notice it's the length of that segment. So if I just move over here, now it's going to give me that height. And that height should be 0.75 inches. All right. Now, everything looks good except for this over here. This side, I'm just going to double click this because the height over here is supposed to be 2 inches. And there it is. So we have that at 2 inches high, 9 inches long, 0.75 inches here, and 4.5 inches here. Okay. This is only a 2-dimensional shape now. How do we know that? Well, if we go to view orientation and we spin it to the back, check it out. It's just a line. So we can't have that. We have to make it so that it is a 3-dimensional shape. And it's really simple. If we go to features and we go to extrude boss base and we leave this blind and we make this number down here 1.654. That is going to make that a 3-dimensional block. All right. Now we're almost done. There's just one more thing that we need to do. We're going to go to the back here and we're going to go sketch, circle. We're going to click on this plane. We're going to draw it. We're going to go to smart dimension and we're going to click this circle's edge. And we're going to make this diameter 0.75 inches. Okay. The distance from here, from the center to the bottom, is going to be 1.375 inches. And the distance from either the edge to the center or the center to the edge, doesn't matter. I'm going to click the edge. I'm going to click the center. That is going to be 0.827 inches. Okay. Last step in this process. We have to be able to make this extruded inside of here to cut it. So if we go to features and extruded cut, we're going to make this blind and 2 inches deep. All right. And now we have, if I spin it to the side and I make it invisible, you'll see that we have a 2-inch extruded hole inside of this block. Now, the only other step that we have is to save this. And we're going to save this every time we do something, we're going to call it something different. So for now, what I'd like you guys to do, either click the save icon or have you go to, I actually want you to go to File, Save As. I'm going to have you go to your Google Drive file stream and My Drive, and you're going to find that class. So it's in Classroom. And you may have others, you may just have mine, and you're going to find whichever class it is in here. And I'm going to have you save this as your first name, your last name, procedure 1. Please save it as procedure 1. So I'm going to have you name it something different every single time so you can share it with me. Go ahead and click save there. All right. Now, eventually, I didn't post the assignment yet at all. But I will have the assignment posted at some point. And what I'm going to have you guys do is go to the assignment when it's here. Let's just pretend it's this one. It's not, but let's pretend it's this one. When you click this, well, actually, I'm logged in as a teacher, so you're not going to be able to see me post it to there. So let me do something here really quickly. If I log in here really quickly, this should be my student account, I hope. I'm going to run out of time. I only have a minute here. So let me pause this video and let me bring that up. Okay, so I'm back. So I made a quick adjustment. I jumped over here to my student account, and I actually uploaded a procedure, the procedure 1 instructions, and I will change some of these. I just did it enough to have it for the assignment here, and it's only shared with me right now. So I accidentally shared it with all of you and then deleted it. So hopefully you didn't notice that too much, but here we go. I only have 30 seconds to do this. So I'm going to go add my Google Drive file. It is it's in My Drive. It's in Classroom. It's in 8th grade, and it's this last procedure. And I'm going to mark it as done, and there it is. That gives me everything that I need, and I need you guys to submit it that way, and I have 5 seconds, so I'm going to end this, and you guys have a great day.